I don't know about you guys, but you know what it's time for? Another episode of the Jankity-ass podcast. Finally coming back to you here again. I was about to say pretty soon, but obviously not while I'm recording. So you guys are probably, you guy, maybe one girl, who knows. Some of you have seen that I am changing the format of the show a little bit. What I'm going to be doing is it's going to be a once a month at the end of the month, so kind of like a review of my life that nobody cares about, of course. Except for I care, obviously. That's all that matters, right? But it'll be because what happened was like I was trying to do like the whole co-host thing again, and it didn't really happen. My two choices, one was kind of flaky, and the other one still doesn't like me, so didn't happen. It's a shame too. It would have been great, but maybe in the future, who knows? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, once a month. Obviously, the shows are going to be longer, but in a way, a little bit more condensed, really, and it'll give me more time to, do like a little bit better production. Not much, because I'm not really an audio engineer at all, like in any capacity or whatever. I'm assuming that people actually sit there and go through and get rid of this hiss, get rid of this pop, get rid of this, and that. I'm not fucking doing that. Like, I already just going through whenever I do the paint booth or the gutsy-ass gamer episodes, though, like, I still go through and cut, like, where where something's either, like, boring in the video game ones, or if I'm, like, sitting down and doing actual length of painting or whatever in the paint booth. So I sit there, cut, condense, add the cool music or whatever. That takes enough time. Like, doing a whole even just cutting the clips together not even cutting, even just putting everything together still takes like a couple hours, even just on a regular episode. And I got the hiccups already. But it'll be more content all at once. And I mean, YouTube and iTunes or whatever, which is kind of like my primary platforms. You can, it's going to save where you're at anyway. So it's not like Spotify. Spotify will, you know what? Yeah, I'm on Spotify, but whatever. I don't have a contract or anything like that. But yeah, whenever I'm listening to Rogan or something like that, and then I have an ad come up when I'm doing something else, it'll stop, and a lot of times it'll start again from scratch, and I have to figure out where the hell I was, which sucks because a lot of his episodes are like, the 3 to 4 hours or whatever. Sometimes even whenever I just hit pause, close out for later, it'll pull that shit on me too. I'm not used to talking. I'm also, actually, before I go on, I am bringing back continuing another one of my traditions, and that is bringing you examples of nice craft beers from little-known breweries, or else newer releases from middle breweries or whatever, craft stuff, right? Using the Tavar app. And this time, I have, obviously the front of the can is nice and simple. The BG is the Brew Gentleman brewery. And this is Generalbraddocks, a beer you can always come back to. Soft and balanced American IPA. Okay, I thought this was a stout of some kind. I forget. Like, this is the same thing I do with, like, whenever I order something or like beer or music or something like that. I put it on my list. After reviewing, I know I like it. I won't remember later, but I knew that I knew at that point that's what I wanted. So, whatever. The same thing happens to me with restaurants too. Whenever I'm going to turn this into a bit someday, which I still haven't done that either. But I'm going to pour this out too. Not out. I'm going to pour it into my fancy Viking horn. You guys remember this? The hell was I saying? Oh yeah, like I'll go to a restaurant and I'll order something, and then the waiter goes away for like 30. Ooh, that's strong. 6.8%, baby. The waiter goes away, comes back like 20, 30 minutes later, as they normally do. And they'll come out like, oh, who ordered the chicken parmesan or whatever? And it's like, motherfucker, I told you. That's your job. I don't remember that shit. Oh, don't want to spill on my keyboard. Well, that is very much an IPA. Definitely. Yeah, there we go. And actually, speaking of IPAs, I'd also found another one was Grizzly Bear. I don't remember. No, but anyways, my local whatchamacallit, one of my local watering holes is doing like a Sunday summer party thing for the next 3 months, where it's like you buy like 3 certain drinks. It's like a Froze, certain brand of IPA, hazy IPA, not just regular IPA. Actually, is this a hazy? Oh, this is regular. So this isn't even considered hazy. Although, well, I guess it probably is. Oh, and these guys are from Braddock, Pennsylvania. Hence, generalbraddocks. But yeah, those 2, and then like any Budweiser bottle, and you get a ticket for like a hot dog or a hamburger, and nothing special. Like, there's no cheese or anything like that. But hey, you get what you pay for, which is you didn't pay for you get more than you paid for. So you didn't pay for anything, and you get food. So that's a good deal either way. And they have a little bit of live music, and that's the Thirsty Merchant over here in what is this? Valley Village. Actually, I don't know. I forgot where I lived for some reason. I was thinking North Hollywood. But anywho, I am still alive, despite the chagrin of some people, such as our landlord. I'm still having a few living issues and stuff like that, and it's kind of getting down to it because our thing's up in August. Here, this is the June episode, June 2022, and let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do for like promotional. I might have to do more than one pick, I think, per episode. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Or else just like post once a week. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll release the episode, and then for all of the next month it'll be every week. It's still gonna be not sure. I was gonna say Tuesdays, but no, because obviously the end of every month is a different day. Let's see this. So if you're listening to this episode when it came out, it is currently, get out of here, YouTube. What is this? Taxes stuff. It is currently the 30th of June, which is a Thursday. So then I guess, yeah, every week after the podcast comes out until the next one, then I'll probably like repost whatever it is that I posted for that episode. Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. Just like a reminder. Oh, maybe I can even do clips. That'd be, I don't know, maybe. We'll see. I'll think about it. Anywho. Let's actually try this stuff, huh? Oh, yeah, that's good. That's actually surprisingly, it's a lot smoother than I would have thought. Also, in case you guys are wondering if I'm looking this way, it's because I got my big ass screen right here to my right, your left, probably. Is that? Yeah, that'd be your left if you're looking. That's how I know I don't look like a fucking moron when I'm talking to you guys. And speaking of morons, what else have I done? So, I also started getting back even more into Warhammer. Well, actually, yeah, you guys kind of already know this. I had gone to LVO in Vegas last time that I was really here, actually, and that was my first GT. I ended up missing out on a couple other ones because I've just been dealing with just bullshit with work picking up, of course, and then of course more stuff with my living situation, which I gotta write up some shit and report. But yeah, we've been having our local league as well, which I probably could have scheduled around for today, but I'll do it later. I normally get my ass kicked, and well, before I was playing Black Templars, but this season, which started last week, I think, I've switched as they came out with the new codex for the Imperial Knights. And this is, you can't really see them that well, but this is the Knight Gallant. God damn it. Oh, okay. I don't want to. Do I have a flashlight? No. It's too far away. Whatever. The Knight Gallant, as you can see, this guy has the fist and chainsword. And they're big, too. Like, I'll show you. Here's one of my little fucking goblins that I'm working on. Also for the show, I got to do these up a little bit later. I'm also still waiting for somewhere that I can actually put them, which is a pain in the ass. But, well, I played one game, got my ass kicked. Happens. And I'm getting into that. It's nice because that army is, it's only just like a few models. Like, the list that I have is only 5. That guy's not even in it because he's sitting on my table here. But, let's see. Yeah, work-wise, I've been, doing a bunch of shows in Hollywood. We had a break here, but we're back into it again. I actually worked at Netflixfestival. That was all over LA here in town, but I was doing the main part because we also had like a so that show, The Hall, on Netflix, where it was like a commemorating, they did like a Hall of Fame for comedians and stuff like that. That was at my venue in the Palladium, and they only had that thing set up for like a day, and then they switched the set out for some other stuff and had a bunch of stand up throughout the week. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. The biggest one, actually, was they had, one day was Snoop Dogg and Friends, and that just ended up being a shit show. I think we cut, like, over 20 of the, whatchamacallit, like, third-party guards that we have. It's like, some started a fight, and then some just bounced, just left, or whatever. So it was a motherfucker, but fortunately, I didn't really have to deal with a lot of that. I was just the overnight guy. Well, I was in charge of the overnight, and it was just not set watch, but yeah, festival set watch, because we were using the parking lot. But I also did that for 2.5 weeks straight, and I got a hefty paycheck out of that as well, and that was, let's see, end of April, April, May. Is when that was. Really fucks up your feet, too. I didn't have, like, the best boots, but, I mean, even still, because whenever I'm working, out there on my feet, I have, my dress socks, and then underneath I have toe socks. And then, of course, I've got the, insoles in the boots and all that stuff, but, yeah, it's hard for me to get the boots tight, especially with the round laces. They're just a pain in the ass because you can pull it. Well, they're hard to pull tight, first of all, and then like the second you let go to get to the other ones, the whole thing just loosens up anyway. So I I don't really know how to do, and you can't just go from the top and pull everything together because like the laces just kind of grip onto certain ones, and then you're really only just pulling towards the top around the ankles, so it doesn't work. What I wanted was like the boa boots. I don't know if you guys have seen these, where it's instead of laces, what a boa the boa system is, they use a it's like a coated cable that runs through a couple of key points of the shoe, and then there's like a crank that, which is probably a little on the fragile side. That might be a bit of a pain, but I don't know. I think you can work with it. But it's a crank, and you crank it, and it tightens up everything around the whole shoe. And then I think you just pop the thing open and it releases. Well, it sucks because they're for some reason the boots are fucking hard to find. The outlet stores don't ever carry these because they're like, they're not like an old tech. They're something new, so you're not gonna find them. The nearest place that I can go to that actually sells them is like out in San Bernardino, which doesn't mean anything for you, but for me, it's like an hour away. More actually, maybe more like a hour and a half, almost. Which, I mean, I guess I could do, and then I would also have to deal with the fact that, like, you know, maybe I'll get there and it's like, oh, I don't actually like what you have, or you're out of what I'm looking for, and then I gotta go all the way back. And I mean, there aren't a whole lot of other things that I need at Bass Pro Shops at all. Cause I'm not going camping anytime soon. I'm not. As much as I know, piss off my property management, I'm not gonna be like cleaning fish and animals and stuff like that out on the front patio or what have you. That'd be hilarious. So, ooh, I don't know. Maybe in the future, we'll see. I'm still holding out on my dream of like where I want to live to eventually, but yeah, I'm gonna be moving into a friend's condo eventually, and for me it'll be cheaper, at least, so that's good. And then the other thing that was a pain in the ass is Under Armour actually used to make they had like a black hunting boot that used the boa cables, but then they had a black one and they had a like a desert camo one, and for whatever, and they like sold out of the black one and just discontinued it, I guess, which is annoying. It was also like $300, otherwise I would have had them already. What's going on here? Good old snap, probably just some bullshit. Yep. Yarp. Ooh, what is this? What is this? Weird. Some weird street corner thing. Fucking too many ads on Snapchat. But let's see. So yeah, my boot situation is my boot situation. I have regular zip up ones along the side or on the inside, but it's not the best. Oh. Hey, we can get some shit just like right in here in your throat. And let's see, I guess like the last kind of major thing is I finally made money back on my taxes now, mostly because I finally found a way to properly calculate write-offs. I found an app called Keeper Tax, and what it is, you just link it to your bank account or cards or whatever, and then you just pick things and say, you know, this is write-off, this is write-off, this isn't. It costs like $100 a year, which, you know, whatever. But I mean, considering last year I paid over $2,000 in taxes, that's fine. And then I got, what is it, 21 back this time around. And if you have the service, you also have like an assistant that, like a digital assistant that like you'll just get a text every once in a while saying like, hey, were these purchases for $10.99 work? And you say yes or no. Or you pick the ones, and then that's it. Sometimes you still have to go back through into and kind of look for yourself because they won't get everything. But you know, whatever. It works. It's nice. I enjoyed it, and I got it like right before this year's, well, I guess last year's taxes were due to be reported. So that's nice. And it helped. And speaking of nice, anyway, so yeah, I have the beer tradition still getting Tavro stuff a little bit more now, actually. Ugh. Whew. Give me the burp. The burping isn't like the part that sucks. It's that like I can't speak for a couple seconds afterwards, and it's annoying, especially when I'm in the middle of saying something, as you've seen me do. But anyways, yes. So still getting beer. Once again, this is good old generalbraddocks. There'll be more coming later, and I will also, of course, be continuing the tradition of bringing you more articles of news that I feel is important, which generally just turns out being entertainment news. And I am frozen for some reason on... Okay, it's just OBS. I'm good. I'm back. It's going to be less articles per sitting. Maybe I'll just bring you like one or two at a time or something like that. And mainly because I don't want to... whenever I'm doing like my show descriptions or whatever, you know, there's a certain amount of characters, and I don't want to just use them all up on fucking web links or whatever. And then also a lot of times, a lot of them end up being, you know, redundant, which with a weekly episode doesn't really matter. But something like this is, yeah, I kind of got to space them out a little bit. And I do have some old ones. I'll start on that later. But yeah, that's, and it'll end up being, so obviously there will be more articles per episode, but less in a month, if that makes sense. Anyways, we will see how all that goes. And so once again, welcome back to the Jankity-ass podcast. And I also record kind of like throughout the month, just because, get some little things in there. Maybe depending on what I feel like talking about. We'll see. Mostly just things that happen to me. Hopefully I'll be trying to go up on a mic again here pretty soon. But we'll see. In the meantime, keep watching. Or listening. Or whatever you have. Here's the show. Here you go. All right, welcome back, guys. It's a little bit later in the month. I still doing this too early in the day. I look like shit, kind of. Well, actually, I mean, I do kind of have like pseudo anime hair-ish, but not really. I actually don't even really need the headphones, but it looks better than just the hair by itself. So today I'm gonna go ahead and bring you a little bit of articles and stuff like that. Not as many as before, but we're still going to be packing them on during the month. First, though, I got a lot of drinks to get through. So this time, I'm bringing you glitterparts. This is from Levante Brewing Company. I think I've had them on before. This is a pineapple sour. Fruited sour, I believe. Oh, no, shit. IPA brewed with pineapple and vanilla. This should be interesting. 7%. Should be very interesting. And it definitely contains lactose. Oh, and they actually have the hops listed here too. This is what I like about smaller breweries is they actually kind of show you everything. So this guy has Azuca, Citra, Eldorado, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops. I have no idea what any of those mean at all. I do know that Mosaic hops are used a lot in IPAs. Why? Whatever. I probably should learn, because I've actually considered... I was looking at like possibly doing like my own mini microbrews. I don't know what kind of... I know there is a license that you need for that. And then, of course, there's the equipment and stuff like that. But I don't know. It would be kind of cool to have just an extra write-off and expense. Maybe. I don't know. But let's see. Oh, yeah. So that stuff's nice and hazy, just like every other IPA. Look at that. Got that nice orange popsicle look that I like. That everybody likes. I really am coming into IPAs a little bit. I don't like the very... I'm still not into like the very bitter stuff. So... like if you ever taste like a quad, that'll cause some problems. That'll mess you up. Let's get a little bit more. Oh shit. All right, this is really foamy. Let's see. In the meantime, I guess some other updates while we're waiting. I am going to LVO again in Vegas. Next year, sometime in January. I couldn't even find the actual date, but I bought the ticket anyway. And so yeah, if you're a Warhammer fan, shit, got some bubbles in my throat. All right, I'm back. If you are a Warhammer fan and a fan of mine, I'll be there. I'll remember to bring my business cards this time. That way I can justify writing off my ticket. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that'll be a good 3-4 nights in Vegas for me. Playing Warhammer, hanging with the boys. There should be more people come along. And apparently, the Rio is going to be... It's at the Rio again. Apparently, it's going to be fully open this time. So all the restaurants will be open, which would be nice because I want to go get my Guy Fieri's. They have like a Guy Fieri's restaurant there, and the whole weekend I was there. I was crazy. I saw the hamburger tacos. Like, I got to try that. I know it'll make me fat as shit, probably just off of one meal, but I need it. And I know some of the other guys will like that there was a Starbucks apparently right next to the convention hall, which, being that we the Rio Towers are like on the opposite end of the casino from the convention hall. And then the convention hall itself is like down this long ass hallway into another building even. And apparently there was a Starbucks over there, but it was closed. And apparently now it's open. So I know a lot of people will like that. And then I guess the other gripes is they just need, more bartenders, more water dispensers too. I would say they ran out pretty regularly. All right, let's see what this stuff tastes like. Okay, that's not bad. It's got the zip to it. It's not very thick, and there isn't really like a bite at the end. I don't really taste the pineapple as much, but I think that might be kind of neutralizing some. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just talking out my ass. But yeah, that one's pretty good. Again, that's glitterparts pineapple. It's kind of hard to see with the glare. There we go. Glitterparts. Levante Brewing. Speaking of Vegas, another interesting development I saw is the AVNs are their awards. They're having live ones again finally. this year, but they are not doing it at the Hard Rock anymore. They moved to like a standalone convention center. It's like, what is it called? And I probably won't go just because of like gas, and tickets are still the tickets are still the same. But let me see if I can find where. Whoops. Okay. Okay, AVN 2023. There's my mom again, but she's gonna have to wait for a little bit. Come on, Eventbrite. Okay, it's at the beginning of January this time, not at the end, because traditionally they had it towards the end, which, oh, damn, normally interfered with the, with LVO. There was a lot of times where it was on the same weekend, more or less, and I did sneak in for a day, like the last time I was there. It's at Resorts World, Las Vegas. So, oh, well. Okay, I guess that is still like a hotel, but it's not on the strip. Oh, you know what? It is kind of on the strip, but it's towards it's north of everything. So yeah, it's on the other side of the Trump Hotel. I should tell you something. From the strip, it's up there, so it's not really in the heart of the strip anymore. You know, oh well. But all right, let me get a few swigs of this, and then let's go ahead and get into our articles here in a second. So, one more swig. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right. Only got 3 articles this time. I'll have some more later. The month is still young. Or whatever. Let's see what we have to start out with. First up, the return of crosses. Quote, we're not scared to do things that are out of our zone. End quote. So, crosses is actually a side project of Chino Moreno and Sean Lopez. If you guys, if that sounds familiar, Chino is a singer for Deftones, which I've been a fan of Deftones since early high school. When I'm not sure if I actually told the story before, but I remember whenever I was going into my freshman year of high school, because that was kind of when you started hanging out with kids from like the different elementary schools that came in. Whenever I was growing up, there was like 4 main elementary schools, so I only knew like 4 of the kids that I went to high school with. But there was this one kid named, you know what? Actually, that is kind of an interesting one to get into. And yeah. So the articles, again, they're going to be in the episode description as links for y'all to click or paste or whatever. Actually, in my post, if you go in there, you should be able to just, it should just hot link automatically. But yeah, let me go back a little bit. So the elementary school, I remember the elementary school I went to was Howard Hedger, which is now a retirement community area. I think the building's still there. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with it. But then there was C.C. Lee, which was in the south part of town. And then there was O.M. Tiffany, which was also, yeah, C.C. Lee was like southwest. And then O.M. Tiffany was kind of southeast-ish, or a little bit more central. I don't really know where anybody came from, except for the ones that like I actually came up with. It could be others. And then, there was another one, I think. I don't really remember. No, I think it was just the 3. And then there was the Catholic. What the fuck was that one called? It was a Catholic elementary, but that one generally just went into the Catholic high school. And they kind of stayed in that system. It was small. Roncalli. That's the one. But yeah, so Howard Hedger's gone. I think it's just the other two left. But anyways, there was a kid that came in. I remember my first class of my freshman year of high school was like freshman science, or what it was called. It just science, just basic stuff. Not like chemistry or bio or any of that shit. Just science. Like, we had a desk. We would set things on fire. I think we cut a frog open or whatever, just the normal stuff, and took some tests. But there was this kid named Blinky. He was called Blinky because he was legally blind. Like, he could still see, but he had like the really thick glasses, and even then he was still, squinting and really blinky, like, right? But I'll never forget, first time I saw him, he was sitting in the back, and he had his headphones on, and he was just blasting something. Like, they weren't like good headphones. They were just like the old school, like the metal strap with the piece of fabric that just kind of sat on top of your ears, or whatever it was called, like over-ear phones. No, not in-ear. Well, not over-ear are the big ones like I got on right now. They were just like, I don't know, cassette player headphones, Walkman headphones, just the regular shitty ones. And that was back in the disc player days. And I remember he was blasting something, like you could hear it throughout the whole class, even with. So he was probably legally deaf too, honestly, which kind of made sense because our teacher kept having to enter a class like, hey, take off your goddamn headphones or whatever. And then not long after that, literally a few days later, headphones were, like, the use of headphones in class, like you had to have them put away. You cannot have them out, or else you could be, like, I don't know, written up or detention or whatever, literally because of this kid. But I found out that at the time he was blasting Deftones in his headphones. I was about to say headphones in his Deftones, but I didn't. Caught myself because I'm cool like that. And this was back in the Shove It days. My summer. Even if you don't know like the rest of the Deftones, that was like when they blew up. Everybody knows it, or at least has heard it. Anyways, that's Chino. Is a singer from Deftones, and this is one of his side projects. They came out with I should know. I think Shawn Lopez is also Deftones. I could be entire. You know what? This isn't going to be the kind of podcast where I just say stupid shit that I don't know about. Why am I looking at my history? This is going to be the one where I actually look up a few things. Shawn Lopez, American music producer. So give me any. Okay, so he's literally primarily a producer. Yeah. Here we go. Shawn Lopez. Oh, is there like a wiki? Here we go. Wiki. Okay. Labels, discography. Okay, so yeah, so he literally just helped with a bunch of stuff, but anyways, in this band, he is an actual musician. So it's basically just the two of them. They just kind of did like a nice fun little side project. They came out with an album a few years back, and before that it was split into like a couple of EPs, like little 3-song EPs that they released. And then and then later on a full album with a couple extra songs that they hadn't released before. It's really good. I loved it. And then earlier this year they announced another one coming out, and they got a couple music videos up already. I know I like the song Initiation. That one's particularly good. It's like this weird like the vibe they go for is like kind of occulty, but also like a little like Santeria Cholo-ish. Fuck. I'm spilling all over myself. Too excited. All right, give me a second, guys. And also, I mean, they have some other side projects too. That, well, there's one I like. Well, you know what? Let me tell you. There's one that I wasn't really that into. Chino did another project called Palms, which that's kind of more like easy, like I'm laying on the beach, kind of easy going rock. It's not really my type. I mean, as you guys know, if you guys have been listening, or even know me in general, I'm more for metal. There's a little literal sediment in this beer. That's how IPA this shit is. But yeah, Palms, never got into it. He did another project called Team Sleep. That was more I don't know what the it was a little more electronica. That's horrible, the description, actually. Let me see if I can find like an accurate description. Okay. Team Sleep rock band. Oh shit. They actually have okay. It's classified as alternative / post rock. Also with Chino, I guess they have, damn. Okay, I have their first album. Okay, as of 22, and they're apparently coming back. It looks like they have 4 albums. Well, one's okay, never mind. So they have Team Sleep, then they have the US release of that. That's 2 right there. And then there's a MySpace demo album. I have no idea what that is. And then there's something else. I bet you know what? I bet these are just like little EPs. I gotta look at this now. I'm surprised I never kept up with it. Where is... No, not podcast. What am I doing? And then also while I'm looking at this, let's see, I've seen Deftones twice. I wanted to see them again this year, but it was like at a stadium, and by the time I even looked, it was like $300 a ticket already, which, I mean, at this point in life, I'm not paying that. And I would have had to buy tickets like a year ago, or a year beforehand, maybe, like before they even released. Seeing a band in a stadium, that's not my jam. Which kind of sucks because now Slipknot just announced their roadshow tour, and the pre-sale tickets are already like $200 some bucks. But those are all also like you need like a code or something like that, and that's gonna be down to 5 points. And the thing is, like even for the upper stands, it's a lot. So I'm sure the rest are going to be better. And it's not like the full festival anymore. They're just doing... It's just like them and a couple openers. So that's unfortunate. What was I looking for? Oh, yes. Team Sleep. See all. Okay, so... God damn it. Okay, so they got the one album. They have... Yeah, it's still just one album so far. It sounded like there was a thing about them reuniting, but... Yeah, so they have their main album. They have the US release version, whatever the hell that is. That's probably what I have. No, because I think I had a couple extra songs. I don't remember. And then there's a live version. That's the Woodstock volume album is actually just a live version of the same thing. And then there's the MySpace demo one, which I don't even know. It's not even on iTunes, so that's all I need to know about that. But even so, that one album is still worth getting if you like, some alternative-y stuff, which I'm not as fond of, but I mean, just the fact that it was Chino, I was on it right away. Just give me that. Put the album in my ears and in my mouth and all that, all my senses. And I'm realizing I really need a tan over here. It's getting hot out, and I need to start going to the beach. But yes, Crosses is the side project that he's currently working on. Hopefully they're doing more Deftone stuff. I interrupted myself earlier. I saw them at, it was not Aftershock. Aftershock's in San Diego. It was Impact Fest, I believe it was called. And that was down in what used to be the old Verizon amphitheater, which they turned into 5 Points and then demolished that. Or, well, no. Yeah, it was Verizon, which was demolished and moved to like another field or whatever. And then that became 5 Points, which is the theater, which I actually worked there for a bit last summer, quite a few times. But now it's a new manager who I don't know off the top of my head. And the guy who was there, he's still running the amphitheater over in Glen Helen or San Bernardino, I should say. But of course now with all my other venues picking up, I don't really have a lot of time to, help out in other places, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess. I mean, Glen Helen is huge. It's big enough to have its own campground, and the amphitheater is very big. Of course, it's like Hollywood Bowl size, plus massive festival ground that you could have anything there. And I mean, it's so big, and it's also kind of far away from other stuff, but it's big enough that like the back road, well, it has like its own emergency services command center, so that they got a whole thing where like police and fire and medics can set up behind in like the offices behind the amphitheater area. And then one of the side roads that goes past the main ticket entrance or the main box office entrance, you go up on the side roads, and then they have like a whole row of like more police and medic setup. And there's even a couple, there's 2 helipads back there. There's one for the like state troopers and one for the medics. It's massive. And I worked one show there. It was a rave. They had it set up completely differently. Like they were having the crew park in the amphitheater lawn, and then everything was over in the festival grounds. Festival. And like 60 to 70% of the time, I wasn't really sure where I was, at least especially in the beginning. But yeah, it's big. And then of course, especially later, once it got dark, and then we were dealing with like the parking lot stuff. Because again, like I was in since I was in the like one of the employee parking areas, which is inside. It's like in between kind of the campgrounds and behind the amphitheater area, which I wasn't really familiar with that. I'd been in the regular customer patron patron parking lots, which are, it's like right across the street from the main walkway that goes up to the box office, or even like the regular VIP lot, which is kind of like right in front, so you don't have to cross the main street. You're on the actual campground side. Like that's easy because it's you can see it as you're coming out, and it's just a wide open field. But where I was parked, it was like kind of like behind trees, and then there's fences all over everything, like the chain linked with the the covers, and it was a mess. But I got out of there just fine. And then even on the way out, they had the employees go take the back road that's normally used for like load in and load out. It goes kind of like through the mountains and out. And of course, it was dark, and it's dirt road. So literally all I could see was like some of the headlights in front of me, and then just dirt. And occasionally I'll see one of the fences or what have you. So it's good times. Although nothing quite beats the first time that I saw a show at Glen Helen, which was actually the last, what was it? It was the last Mayhem Fest, which was, it was a good metal fest, but yeah, festivals are kind of starting to die out a bit. But I remember I was at the upper stage with one of my buddies, and that was a dust bowl. Like whenever we got home, I was literally snorting black just dirt out of my nose and ears and everywhere in the shower. Which I don't normally take showers before going to bed. I usually take them when I wake up. That was definitely one time where I was like, I gotta rinse off now, and not be like the campers who just go to bed fucking dirty. Actually, the worst I remember was I went to one of the Knot Fests there, back when they were still doing the good old 2-day festivals. And there was one time I went, was also the first time I saw Gwar. And for those of you who don't know, they like to spray the crowd with like fake blood and shit like that, except they played on the first day. So then the second day, we saw people coming back, and like all their clothes and shit are still, stained with like red and blue and yellow and all that crap. It's like, oh, you slept in that shit. You're going to be breaking out in like multicolored acne, and it's not pretty. And you probably smell, which is actually kind of like one of the themes of Gwars. All their fans are, disgusting, smelly beasts, basically. Which kind of also sums up metal fans, especially during festivals. Stuff like that. Now, I guess all the good ones are out in Europe or something like that. But I don't have that kind of money. I'm not paying to fly out there just for that. Well, not yet anyway. Maybe someday. And then it's like I wouldn't even know really what's going on. I don't like have people anywhere, I guess, really. Anywho. So yes, Crosses is coming out with a new album. I don't think they have, I think they did have a release date, but I'm done looking up stuff. And done looking at this page. So let's move on to our next article. There we go. Oh, more music. Speaking of Slipknot, Slipknot's new album contains the heaviest blues song on earth, as said by Jay Weinberg. Yeah, Slipknot is another one that I've been big fans of. Let's get this ad out of the way, shall we? I've been into Slipknot for a while too. I didn't get in early in the 90s like most people did. I got in, a friend of mine and a friend of mine introduced me to them, kind of, when they came out with it was like right when they were coming out with their third album, I believe, because they did have like some more melodic stuff, so that's why he liked them. I, of course, was getting into actual metal, but so I was never, and I mean I was never like, since, well shit, that doesn't really play. I was never like really kind of like the disaffected and disenfranchised kind of crowd. A little bit, but not really, not in that sense. But there were definitely some of those there. There was some kids who liked new metal, even in my school. Not a lot, but they were there. And, well, I mean, it's kind of weird because, like, I don't really do metal with like other people. Like it's kind of, for me, it was always kind of like the thing that I had that nobody else had. So I don't know. I don't really do community, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, I've also been a Slipknot fan for a while. I've seen him a few times, actually, over there at Knotfest. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this coming out as well. I wonder if there's an actual release date here. And of course, you guys can read all this. Oh, it's like a full-on interview. And I don't see a date. I don't want to stay on the words too long because I don't want to get in trouble with anything. I don't know how I would. I don't think you can, actually. I think it's just like a video and art and stuff. But, so yeah, new Slipknot album coming out. I'm sure it's going to be good. I don't know what this is about, blues song, but we'll see. It's probably with their one melodic. And I got one more for you guys for today. Warner Brothers Discovery Exploring Overhaul of DC Entertainment, exclusive to Variety. We're looking at, and that is a picture of the latest Batman, aka the Batman. That's Robert Pattinson Batman, and that's their version of Jim Gordon. So I get what they're getting at. Now this movie worked because one, Warner Brothers did not mess with this movie. They actually apparently let him do. They let the director, I don't remember who it is, they let him do whatever the hell he wanted to. Kind of like they did with Christopher Nolan originally. And one of the things that they're doing, they explained this movie, they just said like, because DC also has like a multiverse thing too, like Marvel does. And they basically just said that like, oh, this is Batman from Earth 2. Boom, problem solved. Right there. And I kind of get why they're thinking like, oh, we could just overhaul. But the thing is, like, Warner Brothers kind of has they don't have a good track record of just not screwing with their stuff. But also at the same time, like, I guess apparently the people who were in charge when a lot of the original DC universe stuff came out, they're kind of on their way out, if that makes sense. And then they also got to deal with the fact that like they kind of lost a bunch of actors too. Like, maybe people will be coming back because I know, like for example, Ben Affleck, he played Batman in what would be considered the Earth 1 universe. So like the main whatever. But, you know, he had said like, you know, oh, I'm done. I'm quit. Fuck this. But then whenever Snyder came back to do his his version of the Justice League, Ben Affleck came right back. So it was literally just about that. And I think Henry Cavill was kind of the same thing. He played Superman. If you don't know, I know they were also planning on tapping, I think, Michael B. Jordan to play Superman as well, which does work because there is a universe with a black Superman, and it's a whole thing. So, yeah, they could do it. But that would be like another standalone movie, which I don't know. I mean, even just like in the comics, DC themselves, like they're not that great at continuity, especially compared to Marvel. Like for them, it's for them like whenever they do stories, it's a little more not gut reaction. What's the word? Knee jerk reaction. Like they're just kind of like, oh, I want to do this now. Oh, I want to do this now. And that and fan service. Basically, they don't stick to their guns as much, so it is a little bit of a mess. But then which kind of sucks, because I guess, like, as far as standalone movies or series, Warner Brothers seems to do okay. But then also at the same time, DC, like, well, comics, they aren't meant to be standalone stories. Not entirely. Not like that. So then it also pisses me off whenever people are like, oh, they should just, superheroes should just have their own movies. There shouldn't be team ups or anything like that. It's like, okay, well, A, you're an idiot. That's not how it was written. And B, that's not how life works. I mean, even I have friends. I don't do everything by myself. No, whatever. I mean, either way, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, also, they lost their cinematic Flash because he's in jail now. A couple times now, I guess. And then, of course, Amber Heard is out, even though she's a side character, technically. But still sort of a main-ish character. Shit happens. I think she also came. I think everybody came back to do the Snyder thing, which is ultimately better. And then also, speaking of Batman, one thing that was kind of disappointing was this part wasn't disappointing to me, but I know a lot of people had issue with it being too long or whatever. Of course, I like long movies. I think, movies should take their time telling something, especially when it's more in depth. It's going to take more time. That's just reality. That's how life works. There you go. It's fucking life. That's how it works. Life takes time. Otherwise, it's too short and nothing happens. And that's usually tragic and everybody cries. But, what was I going to say? The thing that did disappoint me was that they still kind of use, like, the same villains that they always do. Although I will give them credit that they had more in this one. So it was, it was basically Penguin, Falcone, Catwoman, and the Riddler. I want to say kind of a newish one, but I mean, they did have Jim Carrey played the Riddler before. But these are obviously two very different Riddlers. Very different. And I think Tom and I spoke about this earlier in the year as well. No, we didn't. Yes, we did, but the movie hadn't been out yet, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. The part that disappointed me was the initial rumor that I heard was that this story was going to be about the Court of Owls, which was it was a story that they started. So a few years back, they decided to overhaul almost all of the DC comics with the New 52, and it was called that. It was called the 52 because that's how many series they decided to restart and greenlight, except for Green Lantern, which was also part of the New 52, but it wasn't actually new. There was no overhaul. They just kind of kept going. I don't know how or why or what they were thinking. They probably weren't. But the idea behind the Court of Owls was that Bruce finds out that there's actually like a secret society in like underground in Gotham. They're all rich people. They wear like the fucking owl masks and all that. And I guess they had like emigrated to the U.S. in the 1800s and set up kind of underneath what would then become Gotham City, and had always been like kind of like the secret rulers, very hands-off-ish. But then like something that Bruce does kind of gets their attention, and they send one of the owls after him. And what the owls are is apparently the Court of Owls. They figured out a way to bring people back from the dead, and that was by they would basically they did like the whole like orphan soldier kind of thing. I need more beer. Hold on. what they would do is, they would take like orphans, street urchins, whatever, get the strongest ones, kind of like put them through like their own version, like a boot camp, like their own version of the Red Room, right? And then also, like once they proved themselves to a certain point at a very early age, they would replace some of these kids' molars with, I believe in the story, it was just like an electrum tooth, like the metal electrum. And the idea was that over time, just like throughout life, these things would, what is this? Oh yeah. The teeth would kind of like dissolve in their saliva, which would then be ingested back into the system and eventually permeate through the bloodstream and just kind of coat like all the the inside of the body. Like they would become infused with electrum throughout their entire body, especially if they got into like adulthood or whatever. To find whatever in life, they were, excellent warriors, all that stuff, what have you. Nothing special there. But the point is, whenever they died, they figured out that if they keep the bodies on ice or something like that, they just freeze them up. And then if they underwent like a proper ritual to kind of like warm them up just a little bit and then basically zap them, kind of like Frankenstein, these warriors would come back to life. And they would still, and because of like the ice and the electrum, they would still retain like a majority of like their personality and mental functions and all of that, except they were also functionally dead. So not only were they, big time warriors, but they could take a real beating. And yeah, so they send the owls. So Batman, they managed to capture Batman and like put him in a underground labyrinth under Gotham, but he gets out. So they send the owls after him. And yeah, it's a good fun story. He manages to basically freeze him again. And then again, this was also years ago in comics, which, RIP Comixology, they switched to Amazon, and now their organization's all screwed up, so you can't really find anything. But yeah, so he freezes the owls, and then that's kind of the end of the story. Like one of them pops up here and there. And then they did also do like an offshoot series for a while called Talon, where there one owl, he comes back and like he realizes that he doesn't want to be like a killer, but he ends up being a good guy. And then he fights like another owl who was basically like a big psycho killer brute, not very stealthy, but so they're in DC, and that's what I thought this movie was. That's what I was under the impression that this movie was going to be about, but it wasn't. Either way, I mean, they still did very good, and they're toying with the idea of having a second The Batman movie. Not I say The Batman because that's what they call this. It's not Batman, not Dark Knight or whatever. So yeah, DC still doing their bullshit, I guess. And speaking of bullshit, that's all the articles that I have for you today. Apparently that's all the vocal skills that I have for you today as well. And I only got halfway through this so far. Let's see if I can put a dent. Not really. I'm really starting to taste the pineapple now, I think. Oh yeah, because some of the stuff is starting to settle on the bottom, and I can't really shake this that much. Whatever. So, IPA, you got some articles. And, well, I mean, like I said, the month's still young. We're only halfway through. Or something like that. Let me see my calendar. Got about a couple weeks left. So, stay tuned. Got some more stuff coming for you. Are you listening to this show and thinking, man, I'd like to start a podcast, but I don't even know where to start? Well, Buzzsprout has the answers for you. Buzzsprout is a podcast hosting service that provides a number of valuable resources to help you on your podcasting career path. For one, Buzzsprout offers indefinite hosting of all your episodes and allows you to host as much material as you want, depending on the type of subscription that you opt for. Buzzsprout also provides a means for getting your show hosted to every major podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, you name it. In addition, Buzzsprout also provides various means to get your show monetized through various sponsorship and affiliate programs, links to other paid hosting platforms such as Patreon and YouTube, and your own personal newsroom to learn all the tips and tricks for optimizing your podcast for the greatest return on your investment. If you're hearing all this and you're still interested, you can go to my link below and receive an Amazon gift card for starting a podcast hosting subscription that you'll receive on the second billing period of your podcast journey. Everyone has something to share, and there's no time like the present. Join Buzzsprout today. All right. Welcome back, guys. It's a little bit later in the month. There's actually not a lot left to the month, which kind of sucks because, well, in annoying news, as you can probably hear from my voice, got sick again. Caught the goddamn COVID again. But, I mean, I barely even noticed it, especially considering last time that I had it, I would have mistaken it for a bad cold, and this isn't even close to that. So I guess, it's true what they say, every version's less deadly, and of course, I'm more able to, deal with it now. I mean, I just had I guess the only outstanding thing is I did have, a lot of post-nasal drips, so that's where it, goes back into your throat and kind of roughs up your vocal cords, as you can hear. I also can't even really do... Not that I had a huge pitch range in my voice anyway, but I can't go very high anymore. And then I just kind of craps out on me. And I've also been blowing my nose pretty much nonstop. And one thing that's not, let me get my water out of the way. One thing that's not going to help a congested nose is beer. This time, I can't even read that very well. I should get a ring light, I think. You know what? Let me try something. Let me try something real quick. Oh, that's crap. Yeah, it doesn't even render. It renders slower whenever I have the, or at least the webcam light on. I think if I had an official ring light, it'd probably be better, but I don't really know where I'd put it. Probably just over here somewhere. So you get this side of my face. And I also don't have room on my right side. Anyways, as I was saying, sorry, microphone. We got some more beer today. This time, this is from Junkyard Brewing Company in Moorhead, Minnesota. It's the royalwithcheese New England style double IPA with Citra and Mosaic hops. And as you can see, that is an homage to what's the goddamn movie? Not Reservoir, Tarantino. It's fuck. Why can't I remember it? Pulp Fiction. That. Goddamn. All right, I'm old. Okay, I've only ever really seen that movie once, too. I think that kind of falls into the same category of, the more that people hype things up, the less I give a shit. But so yeah, Royale with cheese. You can see that they got little 8-bit Nintendo Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta in there, and a cheeseburger. And that's a for those of you listening, that's like a an old Nintendo game cartridge on the thing. And let's see what else. Keep cold and fresh. It's not going to be that cold because I set this out because I was going to do this yesterday, but I was still a little too congested. Government morning, who cares? Is there anything else? Oh yeah, I know there's a percentage around here somewhere. Here we go. 8%. Shit. Okay. Whatever. So here we go. Let's go ahead and crack this open. A little ASMR for you guys. Oh yeah. Got a little foam. Ooh, I can smell that already. I did say it was a double IPA, so yeah, it's gonna be strong. Oh yeah, that's got some zip to it. Not the strongest aftertaste I've experienced, but it's there. Let's see how much like a normal IPA this stuff looks like. I'm sure it's going to be, yeah, that nice hazy orange popsicle. Got that candy corn. Nice and foamy. Look at that. You'd almost think it was solid if you didn't know any better. You know what? I like IPAs now. It's a turning point in my life. You know, I mean, I know, like, you know, some people, like, they graduate from school. Some people have their first kid. I am now, like, I like IPAs now. And I'm sure this is going to be wonderful for my sinuses. Fortunately, I'm at a point where I can more or less function without having to blow my nose out every couple sentences or whatever. Although I did look up remedies for congestion because I don't like being congested any more than anybody else does. And they do say specifically one of the don'ts is alcohol because, at least as far as you said, well, there's nothing that you put into your body or ingest necessarily that's going to help you drain the crap out of your face. But there are some, so like if you drink water and a lot of fluids, that's going to help relax the like the little capillaries and arteries around your nasal cavity and sinuses, and that'll no, well, normally whenever you're sick, everything gets inflamed and starts to contract, and then that contracts around what's building up inside of your nose. Whereas if you, like, an anti-congestant will do the opposite. So like I did have an anti-congestant pill I took already, and it basically, like, it keeps the arteries and capillaries from blowing up and squeezing down on all the snot. Beer, however, is a bit of an inflammatoriant. I don't know. It goddamn, I'm gonna be coughing all night. It does the opposite. So here we go. Bad decisions. That is tangy, but I love it. What I've been up to since I last talked to you, I uploaded some more videos for the old paint booth. I finally finished up the first unit in the Dominion, the Orc half of the Dominion box that I bought from my boy Danny, who is another member along with Tom over at the TFG Radio podcast. If you like Warhammer stuff, go check them out. One of these days, once I kind of get my life back together again, is I'm gonna see if I can't get on their show with them and maybe get one of them on here. Who knows? I guess I already kind of technically did before, but whatever. And speaking of getting my life together, it's a good thing I'm sick now because I already paid to finally reactivate my membership, my gym membership. So, it's not like I was trying to get my life back together or anything. It's annoying, but no, it's nice. I started going back to 24-hour again, especially now. They're actually 24 hours again, which is like that was probably the main gripe that I had with them whenever they come back out of the pandemic, is they were only open for like just a limited time. I think like max was like 10 p.m. last time I checked, but now they're back to normal-ish. And the membership is the membership that they were offering now is for all of Southern California. Ooh, there we go. I believe I could go to any club in Southern California or at least Super Sport. I'm not entirely sure how they I don't think there's like really a distinction like that anymore, other than Super Sports have a pool, which is the one I have. I might have to start using that. But how the fuck was I saying? And it's almost like half the price of what I was paying before. So before it was like almost $50, and now they changed it to $35 a month, and the startup cost was only like $1. So I don't know if I paid a full membership yet. I'll have to check, but it's automatic, of course. And then of course the only downer is there is like a $50 annual fee, which I don't have to pay until August, so that's nice. So I'll just have to make sure to work extra hard after this month here once I get better. It also sucks too, because I was supposed to work down in K-Town at one of our other venues. I get there, and of course I test positive. We did it a couple times, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll get out of here, but hey, I need the money, right? So I had a shift last night, and then I was supposed to have one tomorrow night, which of course I can't do. And they said like, all right, well, we'll just take you off for the rest of the week, and I have to go do a PCR test, like go get a scheduled one before I can come back. The little over-the-counter tests aren't going to cut it as far as having to get out of work because you're positive and then coming back and proving that you're negative. Whatever. It's not like the old cold where I could just say like, I don't feel sick anymore. I guess it's probably a good thing that I'm not there, because I'm obviously still hacking it out all day. What was that? I was saying something before. Oh yeah, so already up is the Hobgrot Slitters on the Paint Booth channel, or not channel, but playlist. And those are like the little goblins that come with the they made a new faction for like the latest season of AOS for Warhammer, and they came out with the Cruel Boy orcs, which are like the swamp variant, and they look more they look a bit they look different. Like they look more like Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings than like the regular kind of comical whimsical orcs. I think I don't have any on hand. But so I got the Hobgrots up. I got the rest of them slated to be coming along the way. So I have that. I hope that wasn't too loud. I got another one of my commissions. And then I also got the Emperor's Champion finally that I finished painting a while back, but now that's an episode up in there. And then actually the next thing I got to start working on is I got some models from the Gene Stealer Cults box that they came out with a while ago. And then I also got this guy when I was in Vegas, just off of the used bin or whatever. I grabbed this guy for like $10. Just a little banner bearer. Is the Icon Ward. And those guys, those are fun. So they have the idea is that they're all like, well, they were human. The idea of the gene stealer cults is they're human that have been infected with like alien DNA from gene stealers. Sorry, this is a very coffee episode. It's going to be a little bit shorter than progressive months, so we'll see. But so those guys, they all wear like mining suits and stuff like that. And what I've decided to do is, I thought it'd be cool to make them a Vegeta theme from DBZ. So it's going to be like, the blue cloth, white armor, and then yellow ribbing or what have you. And I'm going to try and make it cool. I haven't exactly figured out what to do with the like the exposed skin and chitin yet. I'm sure probably just like a skin color, maybe like some gray for the more armored up stuff, especially on the acolytes that are like more mutated. Or just like the regular hybrids, or not hybrids, like the acolytes are the hybrids actually, but like the regular brood brothers, or shit, I don't even remember what they're called. But anyways, I have that model separate, and then I also ended up buying the I would like to buy the ability to talk without coughing, but I bought the Shadow Throne box, which was it was a re-release of like it had a bunch of had a bunch of Gene Stealer Cults models with one new character who's like a saboteur type of thing, can just kind of randomly blow people up. And then the other half of the box was Adeptus Custodes, or some people say Custodes, but I like Custodes better. And it fits more with the Latin-ish narrative. Because like the Space Marines are the Adeptus Astartes. You don't say Astartes. So you should say Custodes or Custodes instead of Custodes, because that just is not phonetically correct. And I'm pretty sure in Latin you pronounce every single letter, which is whatever. It's neither here nor there. But anyways, they did the same thing where they had, it's just like some of the Terminators, some of the Guardians, or regular Custode guards. And then they have the Blade Master, who is a new character as well. And by character, I'm not named character, just like HQ type. So that's cool. Anyways, I got those all in there. Everything's still in the box. I haven't even built shit yet. So yeah, I got a box from like 6 years ago that I won at a tournament. No, 5 years ago, that I still haven't even cracked open. I think I like took a couple parts out and sold them off to somebody for cheap. But other than that, it's very slow going. My living situation, of course, hasn't helped. But hey, things will be coming to a head. We're finally taking action on our part. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, let's say the people in charge of my house suck. And I don't like that. And legally, they're wrong. So, there you go. So yeah, paint booth, got some new stuff coming up. I'm also, right now, uploading to YouTube as I speak. I'd say we, but it's really just me. You're just listening to me. I'm uploading some more episodes to the Gutsy-ass Gamer Odyssey channel. Sorry, playlist. I went ahead and went through like one of the like additional content DLCs that they made, where it's really just like another series of quests that they labeled the Lost Tales of Greece. And so I went and did them all. So that's 6 more episodes going up. I think one already aired yesterday. Actually, that was just the first one I uploaded. But I finally finished the rest of them today. They're all going up. And that's going to take me through the month of July, fortunately. And then, of course, this is going to be coming out in a few days. Actually, as well, let me see how many days are left in this month. 3 more days. So I got like one more thing that I need to record, and then I better start putting this shit together. Anywho, in the meantime, still got my beer. I'm still here. It's all that matters. You know, I do like this stuff. It's actually pretty good. Let's see. What else? What else have I got going on? I got some old notes and some new notes. Oh, yeah. The first note I got written down was Farrah doing stand-up. I don't know if you guys remember who Farrahabraham is. One of the original VH1 teen momsters. And this bitch, I mean, like she did her thing, had like her whole family drama. And then just after the show ended, just went wild. Like had like plastic surgery, did porn a bunch. I mean, well, I guess wild subject. Well, yeah, kind of wild. Just very 180 in her life. And then I found out, and I mean, she just kind of like comes and goes. She's all Hollywood now. What was interesting is I went to college in Omaha, and she's actually from Council Bluffs, which is, if you don't know, Omaha is right, is on the west, is off of the west bank of I want to say the Missouri River, I think. It's either Missouri or Mississippi, but like right there, and it's also on the border of Nebraska, the eastern border, which is that river. And then directly on the other side is Council Bluffs. So it's literally like there's like 4 bridges going across the river, something like that connect the city. And then Old Market, which is where I used to hang out, is kind of like there's like a bunch of banks and old businesses, like old factories and stuff like that, which are mostly lofts or else torn down for parks and shit like that. And then a couple blocks back is the Old Market and stuff like that. And then where I went, Creighton, is, I mean, it's a couple of miles down, but it's still very close. Like, if you were drunk enough and you were still a kid like I was, you could walk it. But yeah, that's the past. Anywho, as I was saying, she's actually from Council Bluffs, which is, just across the river. And it's almost kind of like the same town. Although we used to call it Council-tucky because, well, I didn't really know people from there, but from what I understand, it was definitely a lot more right-leaning, you could say. I also remember driving over there for something around kind of like the golden hour, when the sun starts going down. And I just remember the town just being completely dead, just like on a normal day. So, yeah, Council Bluffs always kind of reminds me of like a zombie apocalypse type of thing. But yeah, and then apparently a couple months ago, I guess she started doing stand-up, or at least tried to anyway, like some of these celebrities do. And then also, completely overshadowing that, like since then, she's apparently started bottling up her shit in like little nuggets or whatever and selling that for probably a couple $100 a pop. So yeah, Farrah tried doing stand up, but who cares? there's worse or better, I guess, depending. Let's see, a couple more things. Oh yeah, so there's a couple notes. I was looking up a you know what, let's take a drink first real quick. But I remember I saw a BuzzFeed article a while back about things in popular movies that almost happened, usually in the way of like casting choices, or in some cases like they changed the story at the last minute to make something fit or what have you. There was a couple that stood out. For one, I'm pretty sure everybody here has seen Inglourious Bastards by the legendary Quentin Tarantino, which is the one where about a bunch. It's like it's a fictional retelling of the end of World War II, or kind of going throughout World War II, and it's basically about a bunch of guys who, like an American team that goes and just like does terror tactics against the Nazis, and they end up killing Hitler at the end of the day, which isn't a spoiler because this movie's been out for like almost 10 years. You should have seen it by now. But in the movie, one of the characters was they had a guy called the Bear Jew because he was a big Jewish dude and he liked to beat Nazis to death with a baseball bat. And the movie, this was played by Sam Raimi, who, obviously is a friend of Tarantino's like everybody else is. But Sam Raimi is also known for, he's also a director in his own right, who, obviously he's acted in a few things of his own, but he does like a lot of horror movies he's known for. Like he did Green Inferno, which is that new one. It's kind of like a reboot of the old Cannibal Holocaust movie where like a bunch of tourists, or I think in this case it was like Greenpeace, they fly and their plane crashes in the jungle and they get captured by basically tribes of cannibals. And it's a good time. You could say the movie's in taste, not necessarily good taste. But more importantly, Sam Raimi was also the director of the original Spider-Man trilogy, with Tobey Maguire. And he also directed the latest Marvel movie, which was Doctor Strange 2. And you can see there's a little bit of a horror element in there as well. It was a good movie. I still like it. I gotta see it again here one of these days now that it's out on streaming. Oh, now I'm getting the hiccups in. Let's take another swig. Fuck it. But point I was trying to make, or that I was getting to, is that one of the points in this article that I saw is that before Sam Raimi, it was originally going to be Adam Sandler playing the Bear Jew, basically running around killing Nazis and shit. But I guess there was like a scheduling thing kind of at the last minute, and then they managed to get Sam Raimi in. But like how that would be cool. Sandler, that would have been his first serious movie, I guess, or like of that non-comedy of that type, where instead of Uncut Gems, Uncut Gems is what it's called, which kind of ended up being like his first serious role, which I actually haven't seen the movie because I don't know, I'm kind of not attracted to like money movies, if that makes sense. And that is like Money Hustle, that sort of thing, unless there's like sort of something else going on. But I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that would have been, Sandler would have been the Bear Jew. And I bet a movie like Uncut Gems, maybe not that one specifically, but he would have done something like that sooner had he gotten the chance to explore his chops in like a non-comedic role, I think. The other bullet point in this article that stood out was that Obi-Wan was originally supposed to be played by an Asian dude. And we're talking in the original Star Wars, like way back in, 75, 76 that it came out. and by Asian, not like, some Mick Rooney motherfucker with his eyes taped to the side, but like a legit, like real Pai Mei looking dude is what I saw. And of course it would have, Ewan McGregor wouldn't have the career that he had now because of course he would not be able to play Obi-Wan because he's not Asian. But yeah, so that almost happened. I don't remember why it didn't and why they ended up going with Alec Guinness instead. Or actually, I think the Asian thing might have just been like one of their top suggestions or potential directions for how they could. I guess they just didn't. They just went with Alec Guinness instead, rather than I. Now that I think of it, there wasn't like a reschedule or anything like that, or like a conflict. They just didn't go that way. But that would have been interesting, especially since it also would have been one of like the first major Asian characters ever. Oh, that really that loosened up a bit of phlegm. I think another thing that helped me out was I also decided to go out for a run on my block for like the first time in a while today, since I can't go to the gym. And it was late at night. It was like almost midnight. So there wasn't, I think I saw like maybe 1 or 2 people out, but it's outside. Who cares? And surprisingly, I did like 1.5 miles without stopping at all, which is a bit of a record for me since I've been living in LA anyway. And the way I kind of figured that out is if you take the old formula of like, oh yeah, a mile is roughly 5 blocks or what have you, and then I run where I live, it's like it's not like literally enclosed, but it's sort of enclosed. Like in the 4-block area that I live, there's like a major road on 2 sides, so south of me and on the west side of the block. On the north side is a divided road, or the bus route runs through the middle, so you can only go one way, so it's kind of blocked. And then on the east side, the other side of that block is completely enclosed. Like they just whoever bought that area, those lots, they just built an apartment building across the paper street, so you can't do that. Yeah, I figure if I just run in like a plus sign, that's 8 blocks, which is 1.3. No, not 3. It was like 1.2 miles, I believe, and I was able to do 8, 9, 10. I was able to do 11 blocks, so that's maybe not 1.5 miles, but it's getting up there, almost. Yeah, I felt good about that. I think also what helped too is I decided to. Well, now that I'm going back to the gym, I've been thinking about because I have a friend who's not a friend anymore, but she would have a habit of like. Well, she was well off, but she would buy like a lot of shoes at a time, but not like being a sneakerhead, but I guess she would just like run through them constantly. And I realized like I could probably do that with like some semi cheap shoes. And then I would just have to get like a shoe case or whatever for like the laundry machine, which I got some saved on Amazon. I just didn't want to pay the $30 now, but it's like it's like 2 zip up pouches that you put the shoes in, and then they got like a little scrubber fingers in there, like one of those a washing glove like you would wash a car with or something like that, where it just has like the big rope strands or whatever, but it's on the inside. And so you can, zip it up, put your shoes in the wash, and then they'll just kind of like wash and scrub at the same time. It's probably still going to look dirty as shit, but it'll be clean-ish. And then, of course, for something like that, too, I wouldn't have to buy any sort of insoles, since I wouldn't necessarily be using them for a long time. But anyways, the point I was getting to was that I also busted out these old Reeboks that I kind of forgot I have, and they're like... They're just like very basic athletic trainers, but they came with like a memory foam sole, and I feel like that really helped keep my like feet from being worn out. So that probably kind of helped me get in the extra mile. And then I also made the jump, or took the plunge. I guess pulled the trigger on. Well, 'cause I was supposed to go to the beach with my friends today, but again, fucking COVID, I had to stay home. But I still got the rest of the summer, and I realized one of the big problems I have was when you go to the beach, I don't do sandals, right? Because in the summer, sand is fucking hot. And even if you're walking around with like flip-flops, they just like get in between your feet and the sandals, and then you got like little burning sand stuck underneath your feet. It sucks. And never mind when you accidentally dig in and get your toes in, and then it's just but so I would always wear hiking shoes when I was walking out to the beach, and then I would only take them off once I got onto like my blanket or whatever. But I found when I was actually looking up like cheap shoes, I found on Amazon, I don't even remember what company, but it's like shoes that are specifically made for the beach, basically, where like it's got a decent sole in there, so it'll keep you from burning yourself. And then the shoe over top is just made of like, it's like a very light mesh. And in some cases, there's no covering. And the idea is that you can like run in and out of, you know, the water and the sand, and then go and just kind of hold your feet under the, like the shower washers that people use to rinse off on public beaches. And it's like, who cares if it gets wet? You know, there's no, it doesn't retain water really. So I got those coming in a couple days. Try them out. But yeah. Ugh. So hopefully this cough will assuage. I don't know if that's a word. Subside. It's probably better. I knew that one, but I wasn't sure if it was gonna be as cool. Hopefully this shit will subside and go back to the gym, get my fucking life back together. I'm tired of being fat, you know. I even bothered weighing myself. I know I've got to be. I have to be in the 250s easily, at least. Whatever. We're getting there. Running helped today, so I'm definitely gonna have to do that more. Especially now that I'm more of a night person, even more than before. Also, edibles help because they kind of help me. I've talked about this before, but they keep me nice and even sleep wise, because otherwise it just kind of starts going all over the place. Speaking of, I'm also on one right now, and especially with a double IPA, I'm gonna be having a fun night here. See, I had a couple of notes. Oh yeah, I did this kind of. I don't know what this is more indicative of, if it's more indicative of the market or just America in general. But I had gone over to CVS, or not CVS, Rite Aid the other day with my cover on. This is after I had planned to go to work. I just went and got like some electrolytes and like a snack or stuff like that. But I saw in the snacks aisle, they're now selling 12 packs of Monster Energy, like 12 packs like you would get like a beer like Coors Light in or something like that. They got like I've seen the 4 packs. That's the biggest one I saw. This is the first time I've seen anything bigger than that. And it wasn't even that much either. It was only like $20, I think, which is pretty cheap for Monster, because Monster usually goes up to like $2.50 a can. But yeah, I mean, I guess if I was like 15 or something like that, showing up to the friend's house with a 12-pack fucking Monster just over my shoulder like a boombox, just busting on like, don't you forget about me and my Monster. Lame. Also, when I was 15, we had Jolt. Anyway, fuck Monster. Jolt was the shit. Jolt made me talk more than I am now, which what I'm talking now is a hell of a lot more than I do in my actual life, as you can imagine. Anyhow, only 12 packs that I'll buy are beer, and I really haven't in a while. Especially now that I found edibles, and I am somewhat poor. I just don't really drink that much. Just why I like edibles. That's like a full night for, what is it? Like $2? Yeah. I get high off of $2 or like $2.50, I guess. In what would take like 4, maybe 5 beers to do to me, without having like the gag from drinking alcohol and getting kind of musty in your throat or whatever. Just don't have those problems. It's nice. Although it does kind of suck when it's like, oh, I can't really walk anymore type of thing. But anywho, I got both today. Because I love you. And I still love beer. I had one more note here that I was interested. I actually stumbled on today. I was listening to another I was catching up on another podcast that I like, some more of a political-ish leaning. Or, well, no, more world news leaning, but I guess, I don't know if you guys remember pharmabro, Martin Shkreli. I guess he finally got let out of prison or what have you, and I found out what he was in prison for. So this is actually kind of like a weird, interesting thing. Like, he is a scumbag. There's no two ways about it. But it turns out he may or may not. He may not have been as big of a scumbag as we all thought. The thing that made him like on everybody's shit list was, well, I mean, he's a billionaire, whatever. He bought a company and became CEO, and they sold it was like it was an anti-parasitic drug. I don't remember exactly what for, but apparently it was originally like $15 a pill or something like that, and then he bought it and overnight changed the price to over $700 a pill. That's very scumbaggy type of thing to do. And I think it was like anti-parasitic, something to do with the heart as well, or I don't remember exactly, but obviously, it was something life-threatening that the drug was meant for. Obviously, you need that. Your the medicine that you need more than quintupling in price. I think. Oh yeah, quite a bit more. Maybe probably like twice that, even again. Decatupling? I don't know. It's up there. It was like 15, 20 to, again, 700. That's ridiculous, right? There's no... If you need that drug, you will die. But here's the interesting thing that I found out today, actually, was that the reason that he actually went to jail wasn't because of that. It was... Well, I mean, it was kind of because of that, but he was charged by like all the major medical insurance companies because they charged him with defrauding them for inflating the price of the drug, which seems like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Now what I found out is apparently, aside from being a total douchebag, right? What I found out was that his thought process was, I'm going to jack up the price of this drug, and it's not actually the patients who are going to be paying for it. I'm not scamming individual people. I am trying to gouge the insurance companies. So he was trying to make it in a, and then he was also saying, he apparently said, like, you know, if you're not an insured person, you know, please come to me and I will find a way to get the drug for you so that your life isn't threatened like that, or like it's not gonna screw you over financially. Now, obviously this all sounds good on paper, and obviously something like this failed spectacularly and a lot of people got screwed. I'm sure some died, whatever, but it still came down to the insurance companies went after him, and that's why he was in jail. So it's really weird because he's like a douchebag with kind of good intentions, but I think overall he would have been better off if he had just gone maybe like, I don't know, raised it a couple more bucks. Like he did like the rookie Texas Hold'em mistake where as soon as you see you know that you have something good, you just put in like a big pile of chips. That's what he did. He knew that he had something gold and he just went all in, and you know, everybody called his bluff and he didn't really end up with nothing, or they folded and he didn't really end up with nothing. The point I'm making is, well, I shouldn't be telling this. I shouldn't be giving away my secrets, but I also haven't played Hold'em in almost a decade, so whatever. But what I usually do is, well, I, of course, try and keep my poker face, or else, like, sort of misdirect in a way, you know, more advanced. But what I would do is, whenever I knew I had something good, I would only do like the barest minimum push. So like, for example, you know, whenever I used to play in high school or home games, it would be like big blind was 10, small blind was 5, and then, you know, everybody would be like, you know, all right, put in 10, whatever. Whenever I knew I had something good, I wouldn't just dump like, you know, oh, I'm gonna raise you 50, and then it's like, well, okay, he has something good, I'm not fucking playing that. Fold, whatever, cut my losses right there. Now, what I did was, if I had something good, like let's say I had, you know, 2 queens in my hand and I see a third one on the board, you know, it comes to me and the blind's 10, I would say, you know what, I'm gonna raise another 5. I'm putting in 15, and then everybody like, all right, yeah, let's get the shit started. Put in another 5, and then, you know, depending on how many cards are left, like the next one drops or the last one drops or whatever, maybe I'll raise like another 2 more, right? And then, you know, like maybe I'll get like a couple to fold, and the other 2 will stay in, and then I'd throw out and be like, thank you, because because whenever you know my strategy at least is not to immediately try and go for the jugular from a mile away, if that makes sense. You just gotta, you know, kind of tighten the screws a little bit and just bleed them a little bit more. Because, I mean, you're not, it's not like a movie, right? You're not going to get somebody just being like, all of a sudden, all right, all in. And then you somehow beat out the guy who has 3 times as many chips as you did and just take him out of the game. That doesn't happen. It's not real. Not really. Especially not in high school, where your $20 matters, right? But no, that's just that was how I play. That's how I do, and it worked for me a couple times. And then, of course, you know, whoever wins the pot bought pizza, so whatever, good times. And anyway, speaking of good times, I've been coughing enough, and I hit the end of my notes, so I think this good time is over for now. Once again, I am drinking the Royale with Cheese from Junkyard Brewing Company out of Minnesota. Some good stuff. And we'll come back in a little bit, finish off the episode a little bit for you. It's going to be about a couple days or so for me. Anywho, stay tuned. We're almost there. We're almost at the end of June. Okie dokie. Am I recording? Yes. June is over. So, that's going to be the end of this episode. Just going to bring you a few more things, and then we'll close out the month. First up, of course, no episode would be complete. No recording would be complete without introducing another interesting drink. And this time, I have the Fortuna Brewing Wayfinder. And this is a Dusseldorf style alt beer, whatever that means. Ooh, copper hued, hoppy alt style beer. Dry hop with the Spouter Select. That's the hops. 5.5%. That's not too bad. And of course, as always, got the trusty. I gotta clean that out. I still got a little bit on the bottom there from last time. From what did I have last time? Oh yeah, I had a double IPA. It was the Royale with cheese I had last time. Pretty good. Let's see what this is about. Without eating my own beard. Okay, that's got a bit of a bite too, but it's not an IPA. Oh yeah, if you're watching, or if you're watching, you already know what you're saying. But if you're listening, that is a nice golden brown. It's not an IPA. The fuck? Oh, it's just some bubbles. And it's foaming up pretty nicely. So we'll give that. Shit. I think I poured like crap. That's probably what's happening. Oh, that's all head. We'll give that a sec to flatten out. And in the meantime, now I think I might go to doing like mini episodes for this again. There have been a few times where I just did like just articles episodes. I think I might go back and do a little bit of that again, just to kind of get some of these out of the way. But as I just mentioned, got some more articles for you guys. So let's look at what's in the bottom. I'm still coughing up, but it's getting better. Let's see what I got in the queue. First up, empty self-driving car books it after getting pulled over by cops. I don't know what type of car this is. Driverless delivery taxi services in California. I haven't seen any of those. But anyways, this one is Chevy Bolt. Nice. I didn't even know that Chevy had driverless cars. But anyways, apparently this thing got pulled over because the lights were out. Of course, the cop, and you can kind of see the video there. The cop goes up there, to get, it's probably like, license and reg, what the fuck? There's nobody here. And then you can see he's walking back to his car to kind of probably radio somebody, and then the thing just vroom, drives off. Or actually, it wouldn't make a vroom noise. I don't think it'd probably make that like spaceship hybrid type of thing, where it's like the woo and goes off. I don't know. And then what's funny is also, since this article came out, these are all kind of old. I pulled them last month, or earlier than that, actually. I've been saving them up. But I did see recently, like within the last couple of days, actually, there was an article where, and again, this isn't a Tesla, this is a different brand, but apparently Tesla fired, I think it was like, not fired, laid off something in the nature of like 200 employees in their self-driving department. What that means, who knows? Also, apparently, I know Tesla's been doing kind of bad stock-wise, but that could be like an artificial thing. Because I know with stocks, one thing that happens is like a few individuals or like a group or something like that, they'll buy a lot of a stock, making it look like it's gaining popularity and value and stuff like that. And then once it reaches like a peak that they're kind of happy with, they'll, dump it. Hence, it's called the pump and dump. You pump it up with cash, and then you just dump it out at the end, which could have been what happened. I don't know if it's related or anything like that, but I mean, either way, I personally think that automatic, like self-driving vehicles or automatic vehicles are a bad idea if they're not on some sort of track. Like a subway, for instance. Although it is, and then sorry, still losing it over here a little bit, but even a subway train, even though it's like mostly automatic, you still have to have someone there to keep a train from just like driving off in the middle of an emergency, right? Or to stop it or what have you. And most likely probably what they do is they'll actually, I would assume that in the subways they like hit a button, say like, all right, go to the next stop, and then it'll carry out its function and then wait for the next command. Probably something like that. I don't know. But the thing is, I don't like self-driving vehicles on what's basically like an open road or whatever. There's just too many factors that there's too many factors that isn't really good for like an AI to deal with in this case, or at least not on a road or anything like that. I don't know. Anyways, on top of that, my bear hair is done foaming. Did I get the rest of it? Oh, here, a little bit more. Yeah. All right, now let's take a proper swig of this stuff. Ooh. Yeah, it's got some bitterness to it. Better out of a glass than a can. If you call this a glass, but yeah, it's bitter. It's not that hoppy. It's more sort of bitterish. I mean, you can tell it's darker too. So it's kind of, no, it's alt. I guess it's an alt beer, but I like it more or less. Okay, enough of the beers. Let's get into some more news, and now we're getting back into like movie stuff here. First up, I got a few more. Paul Bettany says the Vision will return to the MCU someday. As you know, the last time they had him in a movie or in anything was in the WandaVision series that came out a while back. This was after he had already been destroyed, and basically not S.H.I.E.L.D., but like the U.S. government had his body, I guess, or something like that, and they managed to put him back together kind of somehow and installed like basically a fresh program, right? And that became the White Vision, which is something that's in the comics apparently, but it's like an older story that I wouldn't know about as much. I think I got a splinter. Yeah, a little baby splinter. But at least in WandaVision, the idea was that the White Vision was just like a weapon that they were using. And he ends up battling Wanda's Vision, who is actually a magical construct that she creates in her mania or whatever. And Wanda's vision gives the White Vision all of his memories as she created. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know. I mean, because the thing is, like, Wanda can technically change reality, so she might be able to create a version of the Vision that has memories that she doesn't know about. If in her mind she's just saying, make the Vision as it used to be, and then reality just kind of does the rest. So now the White Vision has all of fake Vision's memories, or old Vision's memories, but not like as its own, if that makes sense. It's like it has a file, and now it's just kind of a, going through everything, and then at the end of the show, he just like, flies off somewhere. Who knows? So yeah, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be coming back. This was also before this was also before Loki, and they started doing like the whole multiverse thing. So, but yes, it'll be exciting. Good old Paul Bettany, and I would hope so for him too, because the Vision role really saved his career and maybe even his life when you think about it. I mean, it's literally like an old story where because in the original Iron literally before Age of Ultron, Bettany was playing the voice of Jarvis, who was Tony Stark's like helper AI or whatever, basically just being a snarky British disembodied voice. But I mean, it wasn't like an acting role like he's wanted. It's a voice actor role, which is fine, but it's not what he was going for. And apparently at the time, he was also still trying to get other acting roles. Like, he had been in some kind of crappy movies, like that Legion movie, where he was like a fallen angel and went to protect like the new Messiah or whatever in the middle of the desert against like a bunch of angels trying to kill humanity. It sucked. It was stupid, but like after that, like just before, I think that like literally the story is like he'd been going around to different agents and stuff like that, and they'll tell him like, you'll never fucking work in this town again, that bullshit. And I guess he was literally like sitting on a curb out on like Sunset or whatever, and contemplating, getting up and walking into traffic, and then, ring ring, hey, this is Kevin Feige. Would you like to have another role here in the MCU? And there you go. He became the Vision. And that was part of the story of Age of Ultron. So that's cool. And it's good that he's still going to be doing stuff, which will actually tie into another article later. But next up, I cough, have another swig, and I tell you all about how Venom 3 officially greenlit by Sony. It's also fun. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the second movie, the one with Carnage, because like it was just it was too fast. They went more for the like the joke than the story, and also I mean it made sense, but they could have done better. And let me see, what am I trying to say? And there was also one thing that kind of irks me with movies is when they do certain, like, if there's like a heavy CGI scene and they do it too fast that it looks fake. This happened. They did that in the second movie with Woody Harrelson and the other girl he's with, and where they're like driving away from the cops, but it's like a lot faster than is normally possible, and it just looks fake. There was a similar movie that had that. It was fuck. It was a movie with Guy Pearce where he's like, he goes to a jail in space, but in like at the beginning he's running from the cops on a motorcycle, and there's like helicopter and missiles and all that stuff, but everything's moving so fast that it just looks like shitty fake. However, anyways, yeah, there's going to be a third Venom movie now. This is coming after No Way Home, when like he was in the end credit extra bullshit, because you find out at the end of Venom 2 he's like out on vacation and then gets like, you know, blah, blah, dimension warped or whatever, and ends up in what is apparently the MCU universe as well, actually as part of you know what, I don't know, it just happens. And then at the end of No Way Home, you have wow, why can't I remember anybody's names? The guy who's playing who played Venom, you know, Bane. It's gone. It's completely gone. But anyways, they have that actor, and Venom is still in the MCU universe. But then in the end credits for No Way Home, whenever they're like, all right, send everybody's going back to their own universes for now, that Venom suddenly like disappears back to wherever he came from, but leaves just a little blob of the Venom in the MCU universe. So point I'm trying to make is, I don't know if this movie's going to be about well, actually, Tom Hardy. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's interesting too. You see in the article they're gonna have Sony's making Madam Web and a Craven movie, I guess. Hopefully it won't suck. I still have to see Morbius too. I never got around to that one, but that'll come out on one of our services or whatever pretty soon here, hopefully. Anywho, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the point being is, I don't know if this movie's going to be about like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, taking up whenever he gets zapped back to his own universe or whatever, or if this has something to do with like the little bit of Venom that was left. I kind of doubt it. I think it's going to be back to that universe. Oh, we'll see. And quite literally, we will see eventually. I'm pretty sure they don't even know what the story is yet. It just says it's greenlit, and this was in April. So it was a couple of months ago, but I mean, still. That just means like, you know, okay, hey, go ahead and start making a story. We'll pay you to do that. Or what have you. But either way, it's exciting. I know a lot of people like it. And speaking of green lighting is my last article for the month. Marvel has the next decade of MCU films already planned out. There is, and this includes, this is everything Marvel Studios. And this includes MCU Plus, so like all the TV, Disney Plus. So like, oof, all the TV shows and all that. This is, I like this because A, I like Marvel. I want more stuff. And B, you know, I used to work on Marvel movies back in the day. I was, I know I've talked about this before, especially with Tom, but because I used to work at a company doing 3D conversion, and I worked on every Marvel movie from Avengers up to Ant-Man. At least I'm pretty sure I worked on Ant-Man. I don't remember exactly what though. That's another dilemma I'm having right now. I've been kind of going through and trying to pick out shots that I worked on to make a demo reel, and there's some movies where I don't remember what I worked on. Also, I got to go back to my other laptop too, because apparently some of my movie polls are unreadable, so I got to do them again. It's a pain in the ass. But anywho, yeah. So there's a lot coming. I know Doctor Strange 2 already came out, and they're already working on a number 3. And I mean, they did have a skit, or a Thor is going to be pretty soon here. Oh, now it's really getting stuck in my throat. This might be done sooner than I wanted. But there's more coming. So I guess stay tuned, right? That's all the articles I have for you guys. Where's my cursor? Come back to just me and my beer. This stuff's not bad. I also took an edible earlier, and it's starting to kick in. I gotta decide if I want to go on another run again. I mean, I should. I definitely ought to. But yeah, I'm still at that like first run back stages where my thighs are just, they've been hurting for a couple days now, and they still are. But also, I think those new Reeboks helped me a lot. We'll see if they do again. And I also got those water shoes that I was telling you about. I don't have them with me to show you guys, but what have you. And of course, I'm still dealing with a little bit of COVID here. I did take another test earlier today. Still got it. Not as bad, but it's still there. And one good thing that I found out was that over at Rite Aid, my insurance covered me to get like a box of tests, or 8, I guess, every month. So for free. So I got that. The only downside is, in order to go back to my venue job, I also have to go and schedule like the official PCR thing, which is like the 12-hour test, and that is something that I'm probably gonna have to pay for. It's really annoying. As I get like the gunk just like goes back and sits on my vocal cords, and then it like tickles them and blocks them up whenever I'm trying to use them. Like even now I can feel them starting to gunk up again. And you can probably hear it too, but and in some other good news, I found, what did I find? Oh, so I've been using a service to do like my social media posts. It's a free one. It's a website called Buffer, just buffer.com. And the idea is they have like a bunch of channels that you can do. And in the free version, I can have up to 3 social media channels connected with 10 posts at a time per each channel. And that's free. And so I've been using it for Facebook and Instagram, the latter which you have to have a business page. And then I know you can also do, I think it was Pinterest, LinkedIn, I believe, and then there was a couple other ones. But they just recently finally added TikTok onto there, which is excellent. And then I just need to and then I also found out that they actually have it set up so you can post to Instagram stories as well. I don't know if they count that as using a channel or not, but unfortunately that's in the paid service, which the cheapest there is the basic paid version of the service is $5 per channel per month, and then it's your billed annually. So if I use my 3 channels that I use, it would be what was it? It's like $150 a year. And the other problem is they don't have like system built for reels. yet either. Although so I might, I don't know. I might stop using the Reels function and maybe just like post all the videos straight to Instagram, or maybe everything as like posts. I guess that would probably be the best way to do it. I think. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, that's a plus. And yeah, anything that I can schedule and just kind of like not have to worry about, because especially if I end up getting a big boy job again, which I'm working on again. I finally got my demo reel there as well, which you can actually find in my website, multimurdymedia.com, which is of course in the show description and at the end of the episodes here. And if you go up into the bar, what's it called? Like the fucking links bar up top. There's home and VFX. That VFX is that's the one I use for like VFX job searching stuff as like my demo and page and all that stuff. Mainly because I wasn't gonna pay for 2 Squarespace websites. That's stupid. So I just made it into a separate thing that doesn't have any other links, so you can't like go there accidentally, basically. I mean, I guess you can, but and that actually brings me to my dilemma, because I wanted to create a 3D 3D conversion demo reel, which I'm slowly going through my shots, and it's a pain in the ass. And also I have to go through like the full movies on my editing software, and every once in a while it just stops caching images, which is another thing. Actually, I think I just solved my own problem. If I can figure out how to empty out my memory on command, that would probably help. But whatever. And so more posts, more power to me. I think I will start just like grouping videos into the other channels. And then like I was saying earlier, I got some videos up for the paint booth and the Gutsy-ass gamer going up. So those are, getting ready for review. That's going to take us into next month here. Great. This life is fucking great. Bullshit. Ugh. Yeah, I probably should run. I mean, it's already too late for a summer body. I can try and work on a fall body, I guess. But that's not bad. I like this stuff. Actually, what time is it right now? Ooh, shit. How long have I been recording? Not even a half hour. Damn it. Okay, yeah. So this month is going to be shorter than normal, I guess, but that's what happens. So I guess I will go ahead and let's see. Did anything else? No, it's only been like 2 days since the last time I recorded. There's been shit happening. I got all my high thoughts out then too. So for now, I'll go ahead and say, good night. Happy June. Have a good what is next month? July. And if you haven't done so already, go to the corner, click like and subscribe to Multi-Murdy Media. That's the channel that you're watching here on YouTube. If you're listening, just hold on a second. But on YouTube, you will get this playlist for the podcast, finally updated here. And then, of course, you'll also have the Gutsy-ass gamer and the Pontius Paint Booth playlists, which are, my video gaming and painting, respectfully. Sorry, I heard some neighbors. And then at the end of the episode, you'll see a card that has some of my socials. It's got my Instagram, the Multi-Murdy Media, Instagram and Facebook, and then of course my website, where you have links to everything. You got a quick link to Instagram. I should probably see if there's like one for Facebook that I can add in there too. And then, of course, if you're more of a hobbyist, stuff like that, I got my model gallery in there. And links to where the podcast is in audio format on, all the various platforms. We're on, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, some other ones in between. Go and check them out. And with that said, Jankity-ass podcast is officially back in action. So you'll be seeing more of me. But the only way to do that is if you stay tuned. Keep on watching, listening, viewing, smelling. Touch my podcast. Touch it through the fence. There you go. Good riddance. Goodbye.